Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would go ahead and give you a really brief tutorial on how to do beaded cross stitch. Now I have all the information about this particular kit down in the description below. If you'd like to go check it out, I have a link for where you can buy it. But it's a little bit, at this stage, I just want to make a really quick kind of how-to and show you all how I do this, and then we'll have a bit of a whip and chat. So if you just want the tutorial, you can watch the first part of the video, and then if you'd like to stick around and chit-chat with me for a while, then hang on for the second half, or part. It's probably more than half, let's be honest. But let's get started. Okay, so here we have it. What I've gone ahead and done is turned over my fabric to start at the very top corner. I wasn't doing this before because I wanted to start on the pretty side, but the more that I did, the more I realized how wrong I was because it's much harder to count the rows if you're not going up from 1 to 10 and so on. So I've done 7 rows on the other side of this beaded cross stitch, but I would recommend starting at the very beginning, no matter what, no matter what kind of painting you have. So there's that. Then what I have down here below, which I will have to adjust so that you can somewhat see it, is the actual pattern. Excuse me, I'm at a loss for words. It's very early in the morning. So this is the pattern, and this is just like a diamond painting where you would see which drills need to be placed where, except it's a lot slower translating from here to here. So what they have done is they have printed onto the canvas itself which bead you need to use. Now, I started using this method by only reading what was on the canvas. Unfortunately, I misread quite a few beads, and I have now gone to the pattern. So I would recommend getting a diamond painting ruler or just a regular ruler and laying it down so that you can see where you're going to be beading. I suppose it goes without saying that you'll have to thread a needle, and I'll show you how I do that. So this kit came with a whole bunch of string. I call it string, but it's actually thread. And it came with a lot of needles as well. They're actually here in my Craftmates container. I'm not using them because the eye on them is much too small, and it just doesn't fit 2 strands, which is what they recommend. They recommend 2 strands over 1 square. I use just a regular aluminum needle threader. It goes straight into the eye of the needle. No, it doesn't fit in the other needle. Then I take 1 piece of string. An easy way to do this is, they come in strands of 6 all together. And what you can do, sorry, now it's getting stuck. I'm going to do my best to show you this. It's my first time doing it on camera as well. Is you separate the strand like so. And then very, very loosely with your non-dominant hand, which for me is my left hand, you want to hold that thread and then pull the other gently with your dominant hand. So I'm going to pull with my right hand and just very gently holding that. You don't want to put a lot of pressure on it. You see how it's collecting down here? And there you go. You've separated your thread. So then you would line it up, and that is trash. So you'll put the 2 ends together like that. And then on the other end, you'll have a loop. this is how I make 2 strands. I do this because I don't like to have really long thread. Have you ever seen a picture from like the medieval era, like a woman using a loom or doing something with tapestry and like using exceptionally long thread? Yeah, that's not my kind of life. So now I'm gonna bring, sorry, no, it's very long. So I bring it down to about that level, and then we're gonna start. So what I'm gonna do is, someone in the comments said to me that you might wanna try to get the beads to line up going the same way all the time. That's kind of impossible. I don't really mind, to be honest, which way the beads go. Excuse me, coffee. Ooh, it's still warm. So I don't mind which way the beads go. What I do like is to make sure that I am pushing away from me as much as possible the whole time. In the beginning, on the other side, I started by threading through. So I was going, for example, I'd go up through this corner like that, and then I'd, excuse me, and then I'd kind of fold the fabric. Oh, sorry, I'm doing it completely, I'm doing it the right way. So I was coming up through this end and then going like this or something like that. Don't push it away from me, or don't pull it towards you, push it away from you. See, now that I want to show you, I can't, because I've trained my brain the other way. So I'm going to pull it through, and on the back side I'm holding it like this with my finger to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And when I get I should be getting my table soon, and I'll show you that when it arrives. Maybe I'll even edit it into the video. When that arrives, it should make this whole process so much easier as well. Sorry for bumping you. Now, the way that I have my beads stored is in Craftmates Lockables, and I'll have a link for them down in the description. I've gone ahead and labeled them with this symbol because I have moved on, like I said, to the pattern instead of reading the colors on the canvas. They bleed into each other a little bit, and so sometimes you just don't know, and then you're trying to find that square on your pattern when you're not using the pattern, so you don't know where you are. It's just very confusing. Just save yourself a little bit of headache and don't do what I did. So I thought it would save time, and there for a bit it did. So as you can see, I pulled the needle through the loop. Okay, and that secures it on the back. So then you don't have to do any knots. It's so much better that way. So then we have the ampersand, which is over here. Now I know this is going to get a bit crowded, and I apologize. Now, my first beaded cross stitch WIP and chat was really fun. I had a really good time. And I find that it is a little hard to focus when you're doing beaded cross stitch because there's so much color changing. Like in the beginning here, this might take me a few minutes just to get started and to get in the groove because I've got to open all the containers again. But you know what? I do find it's so calm and peaceful. And I know the effect is going to look amazing, you know. And then next is 0, which is number 15 over here. The only thing is that I feel like I need to be extra super careful not to knock over anything. I did see There are a lot of people over on Kralapik's Facebook group. If you're not over there, please go check it out because they are talking a lot about beaded cross-stitch kits and all the accessories and things. There is such thing as a beaded cross-stitch needle or a beading needle. I don't know if it's just for cross-stitch. It's probably for embroidery, to be honest. But the eye of the needle is, oh, look at that, it's all bent. Can't get my needle in. That's going to go in the trash. The eye of the needle can open and close. And it's very flexible. So that is a cool little, oops, that happens quite often here at the corner. My apologies. So that would be really handy to have. I'm going to do another one of them. And this is just how you continue and go on until you reach the end of your thread. And then you make a pin stitch. So a pin stitch, actually, you know what, I'll insert some footage over here of me making a pin stitch to end this thread because I don't want to do it here and then have to make a knot. But hopefully you understand. Basically, you go down through the square, or sorry, excuse me, I come up through the square, then go down through the square, up and down again, just in the middle there, and then you cut the thread. And that's it. Bob's your uncle. I learned that because I was so frustrated with my falca carta, beaded, not beaded, sorry, just a counted cross stitch, with ending threads and making a huge mess on the back of my work. It was not fun. So I Googled it, or not Googled it, I YouTubed it. I was like, how do you start and end threads? And there's a lot of really great videos online. And what I'm doing right now, I'm struggling. Number one, this particular bead is very difficult to find a size that fits my needle. Oops. So I just grab a few of them. Of course, it's the first one I grab in the handful. That works. So there are some colors that are, some colored beads that are difficult to use with this needle. That is an issue I have. But I'm not throwing away those beads or anything. I just throw them back into the pile because there are thousands and thousands of these little beads. So there's bound to be one that'll fit. I just have to have the patience. I'm working on it. There we go. So I hope you can see that this is a very, very time-consuming craft. I enjoy doing this in the morning with my coffee. So that's become my little routine. Last few days anyway. The only issue with it is that you do have to be spread out on a flat surface. So it does take up quite a bit of room as far as the beads are concerned. Now, with this table coming, I think it's actually coming today, which is great news because that means that I can roll it up on the frame and I can move my beads wherever I want because I have that little Craftmates binder. So when I'm not using it, I can put it away. And away won't be too far away. Do you know what I mean? The next one is you, which is over here. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Now, today is the day of filming is Monday. Today is one of my days off this week. And it is such a nice, peaceful morning. It's so quiet outside. It's almost eerily quiet. Now, I woke up this morning at 7:45, which is very unusual for me. I normally wake up at 10 or 10:30. But this is where the story time comes in. So if you're not here for the WIP in chat, I will see you later. But stick around for good stories. So a few days ago, the power went out. I was just leaving work and I just locked the door to the gym to close up, and the power just boom, cut out. It was kind of scary, actually. And so I'm walking up to the entrance of the hotel, and there are no lights on anywhere in the town. And I was so creeped out. There was a car that was idling outside the reception with its lights on, but there weren't any street lamps on. You know, there's no lights in the houses or anything. And, you know, we're in the middle of the town, you know, but all of a sudden it just felt so ghastly, you know. I guess because we're not used to seeing anything without being lit up anymore. And so I walked into the hotel, and, you know, there's a few guests there, and everybody's above, you know, kind of going, oh my gosh, what's going on? Does this happen often? It's like, yeah, this does happen from time to time. We live in the middle of nowhere. They use us to test out new stuff. Oops. No, that was right. Wasn't it? Oh no, that was wrong. Error. No one's going to notice. Okay, and now we move on to number 1 again. The difficult one. That's the other thing. I wouldn't sweat it if you mess up a little bit. I messed up the last time. Actually, I'm going to insert footage up there somewhere so that you can see me working really fast while we do this. I can't believe it's already been 18 minutes, guys. What on earth? This might be a long WIP and chat. Time lapse of me working, and then I did mess up, and I ripped out a few stitches and redid it because I was on the wrong page of the pattern. Oops. That happens. But it was only like maybe 10 beads, so that's no big deal. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I walked into the restaurant and everybody's like a flurry, and I sat down and got out my cross stitching. And apparently people just don't really see other people do embroidery anymore, like in public in Ireland. It must not be very big. I'd say it isn't. I'd say that we here on YouTube are probably the only ones that are doing it, and that's why we're sticking together, because well, in Ireland it really isn't popular. So I had a lady and her husband chat with me. They were like, can we have a look at that? And I went over to them and showed them the pattern. They were like, how does it work? And I was explaining a little bit, but not too much. You know, I didn't want to freak them out or anything. But anyway, they were really nice people. It turns out the guy knits, and his grandma taught him how to knit, so he used to knit all the time. And yeah, it was just sweet talking to them. And the power didn't come back. We left there at 11 when my husband was finished. And we came home and I was starving because we hadn't eaten dinner. And our plan for the night was go home, put some pizza in the oven, and watch a movie. That was the plan. But we got home, and obviously the oven pilot light doesn't work without power. So James started playing a game on the laptop, and I was diamond painting. And I think I watched a video, but then I turned it off because I was using mobile data and battery, and I wanted to save my battery just in case something happened and I wasn't able to charge my phone the next morning. So I ended up falling asleep in front of the fire, which was so nice. It was so relaxing. You know, purposefully just kind of being like, okay, I'll just nap here for a bit. And I think I woke up at 12:30 or 1 o'clock, and I went to bed. Excuse me. And oops, what have I done here? Let me straighten that out a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so I went to bed and woke up the next morning. I think that reset me because I've been going to bed so late lately with all the late night live streams and all that, you know. And my own fault, of course. But yeah, I woke up feeling so refreshed, and it was only like maybe 9 when I woke up yesterday. So I started doing this. I started doing my beaded cross stitch first thing in the morning. And you know what? Like, I realized that it's nice to just be able to kind of slowly wake up with my coffee break, guys. Oh, it's still a little bit warm. Excuse me. It's so nice to wake up slow with your cup of coffee, and I feel so blessed to be able to do that. I remember a time when my life was so hectic that I couldn't imagine having enough free time to be able to do that, you know? So I do feel lucky that not only am I able to afford the craft and to, you know, have time, I have time to do it. I complain a lot that I don't have a lot of time, but the truth is that I can make time. I just need to sleep more. And another thing I'm really grateful for is you all. And I appreciate you guys watching my videos and talking to me and all of your lovely comments. And I'm sorry if I don't respond to every comment. I have been trying to get better at doing that, because I know that if it were me, I would love to have a response. So I am trying hard to get better at doing that now. Oh, pound. I don't know if I've used pound in a while. Well, there you are. A gray bead. How fitting. Gray beads, the pound. No. Here we go. Wonderful. Today is a gray day. And I apologize if my dog barks here in a minute. My neighbors across the way, they are doing something. I think they're building a shed or something directly across the street from us. There's like a hedge. Yeah, see, hang on. Oh no, okay. This is why the pattern is important. They've been building over there for a few days now. I have squirrel brain this morning, guys. I think it's because I haven't had enough coffee yet, so I apologize. Squirrel brain. I do suffer a little bit from ADHD, or ADD, not ADHD, ADD. But I'm not diagnosed or medicated, so it could just be in my head. But I do lose focus like crazy sometimes, especially when I don't have my coffee. My coffee makes me hyper, but it focuses me and my energy. So there's that. But I'd prefer, like, I feel like maybe I should start going to the doctor more often. I just have a fear of doctors, I guess. Every time I've ever gone to someone, it's always been bad news. So kind of just like, I'd love to go to the doctor and just be fine for once, but you don't go to the doctor for nothing, you know? But again, anxiety, that's the real issue, isn't it? I was reading a statistic, and I'm sorry if this gets a bit dark, but I promise I'll go off this topic in a second. But maybe you can relate or know somebody who can relate. I read a statistic that, now this is in Ireland, of course, people will go untreated for depression and anxiety for about 10 years on average, because that's how long it takes them to talk themselves into getting help. And I think it's true, because this is year 11 now that I can say for sure that I feel like I've been not in the same mood, but definitely not in the same mind as I once was. Now I've learned a lot, and I'm very appreciative and everything. Don't get me wrong. But I think, that one doesn't fit. I think it's time. But again, I hate going to the doctor and being like, so hey, like, how do you start that conversation? Hi, my name is Rachel, and I think I'm depressed. I think I've been depressed for a long time. Anyway, that got really dark. How do I do these WIP and chats without getting dark? I gotta think of something. Hang on a second, I'm gonna pause. Ooh, I know what we can talk about. So today we're supposed to go up to Tralee. I think I've talked about Tralee before, but Tralee is this, well, it's not really a city either, is it? But it's the closest thing that we have to a city. And I like going to Tralee because we only really do it once a month or so. Or not even that, maybe once every 2 months, to be honest. And that's when I can pick up all the bits and bobs that I need. And there's this place there that is called Sethu's Spice Shop, and he sells ramen, and he sells kimchi and all these, Asian foods that I love. And I need to make sure that I remember this now. I need to get sesame oil. And I guarantee you I'll be watching this back in editing and going, I knew I forgot something. I haven't had sesame oil in a while. And that's the reason why I haven't made any, whatchamacallits, stir fries. Sesame oil is so yummy. Oh, if you've never tried Korean food, please do. It is so good. I think there are times when, you know, I do miss Korea. I left Korea after a little over 4 years. And at the very end of it, I hated it. I guess you kind of like, when you move to another country and you live there for a few years, it starts to become your home, and then you start to criticize it. And I think that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You're allowed to criticize where you live. By the way, just putting it out there. There are some people out there who think that because you're not native to a country that you're not allowed to criticize it, and that's not true. Everybody's life experience matters, and when you move somewhere, like when I moved to Ireland, everything was roses for the first, I don't know, year or so, and then after that I started to see the things that needed to be changed. That's normal. So just putting that out there. But anyway, I digress. The reason I'm even bringing it up is because I moved there when I was 22. Anyway, I was 22 or 23. I'm really bad at that. I remember it was 2011. And I was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed back then. And full of life. And I know he's never going to look at it. I was dating this guy, and it wasn't exactly working out. I mean, he was a nice person and everything, and very kind, and I still appreciate him as a person, but it just wasn't working out, and I was tired of the life that I was leading, and I had finished uni, and just things weren't really going well for me. So I took a course and decided that I would try to go teach English as a second language. And so I took my course, and the course took a month. So I was working full-time Monday to Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I was doing 9-hour days at this course for a month during my favorite month of the year, which is May. Anyway, that really got me down. But I did my course and finished it first week of June, and by I think it was the second or third week of July, I was gone. I left the country. Got a job. Did I do that right? Hang on, I gotta count. 3 are, sorry, excuse me. This is hard to do. So, yeah, I got a job within a month or so and got my plane ticket, and I was out of there. He and I kept in touch for a little bit, but I realized after a little bit of time that I was on a very exciting adventure, like a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. And I was seeing all kinds of new things, and I was learning a new language and eating new food, and all these people from around the world that I was meeting, and everything was so exciting, and we were all in this very, I don't know, it felt like an exclusive club almost, you know, the expat group. I was wrong about a few of those things, but it was fun while it lasted. So he and I drifted apart, and eventually I told him that I wasn't sure if I would come back. I think that was in maybe October of that year, because we were still chatting and, you know, talking on the phone and everything, and but it just wasn't going to work, and I knew that because I wanted to stay, and I'd only been there for a few months. I really liked being abroad, and I asked him to come with me, and he said he wouldn't, so he's lost. Okay, so we did pound, need R. And then I had a whirlwind romance for a few months with a guy that I thought was amazing. Turns out he was not amazing. But an emotional time suck for me. And then I truly, for the first time in my young life, was single for 8 months or a year. And at first it was torture for me because, you know, I was like a serial dater. I'd hop from one to another, which isn't healthy. Do not do that. But yeah, really enjoyed my newfound independence. That's for sure. Now I have reached the end of this page, except for the 3, I'll show you. So there's 3 here on the end. I should probably do them too. The idea is to do this whole page. Or will I keep going? What do you think I should do? Oh God. This is where decisions have to be made, isn't it? Let me have a sip of coffee and think about this. Because at least if I stay on this page, then I'll be working with this more or less the same colors all the way through. You know what? No, I'll just keep going row by row. And then moving back and forward, I'll just go the whole way. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Sorry. I hope you enjoyed being in a part of that decision process. Anyhow, so that was me back in the day, and when I realized I was going to sign for another year, I was going to get a new school, let's be honest. I went back home for a few months from mid-July of 2012 until September. And during that time, I had met my husky, my future husky, Ice. I'll put a picture of him in here so you can see him. He was such a dote. I'd met him at the animal shelter and claimed him. If he was to get better, which he did, I was going to take him in September. So the first thing I did when I came back to Korea was I went to that shelter and I swept him up. He was such a wonderful dog. Excuse my voice there. He was gentle, beautiful. People used to scream when they saw him because Korean people in general at that time did not keep large dogs in apartments. But I did because I was a foreigner and I kind of got away with it in that kind of way. Oh, I didn't turn the page. I was like, wait a second, where am I? See, that's why the printing is so good, because you can just follow the symbol. So let me just double check. Yeah, I'm nearly at 70. Perfect. I hope you guys can see this okay. I'm just going to adjust things a little bit. Okay. So yeah, oh my gosh, what a fun 3 months that was. I had him from September, no, it wasn't even, September to November. It was just around Thanksgiving, was it? Or was it December? Oh, I'm having trouble remembering now. It was so long ago. I have memory problems too. Sorry. I only had him for a few months. I think it was the beginning of December. Yeah. And I was having a hard time when I found out he had acute renal failure, and there wasn't much we could do. I was giving him medicine every day to keep him alive, basically, and he was so sweet about it. He never complained, you know. Well, dogs never really do, but he wasn't whimpering or anything until the very end. And that's when I let him out to go on a walk, and he didn't want to get back up. So I took him to the vet. I called my friend, and I was crying, and oh, they were so good to me. I haven't seen them in so long, but that couple, Jehu and his girlfriend, they came and they took us to the vet, and we put ice down, and I was there when it happened, you know. I wanted to hold him, and he went away peacefully, and it was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do. I lost my dog that I'd you know, watched him from afar for years in that shelter, and they told me he was going to die, and so I tried not to form an attachment. And then when they told me that he was all better and I could take him home, I was so happy. But yeah, it wasn't meant to be. But he's a little puppy angel now, up in heaven. With all my other beautiful puppies from the past. Yeah, so that was, sorry. Yeah, Ice was an amazing dog. In general, Huskies are quite difficult because they are strong, and they strong-willed and persistent, and you have to be quicker than them in every aspect, and it is so much fun as a dog owner. But you have to be responsible for them. They will try to run away, and they will jump out of any enclosure, and you know, that kind of thing. So it's really for somebody who is an outdoorsy person who's gonna, you know, give them the time they need. And for me, that's not me anymore. That was me back then, but not really anymore. So I'm not gonna make a dog suffer. You know, even though I see them come up on the rescue pages and stuff, and I'm like, oh, my heart. But yeah, I can't do it as much as I want to. Okay, we're really close to finishing this thread. Oh, you can barely see what I'm doing. Hang on. Apologies. So, let me get my last 2 beads here, and then we'll finish the thread. And then it'll be like a pick and pick from back in the beginning. You will have already seen me do this. That's creepy, but yeah. All right, so you put the needle down instead of going through again, because you want to go to the back side. Luna wants to say hi. Hi Luna, you want to help me finish this thread? Okay, so on the back, you can see where we've made all of our, all of our little, excuse me for a moment, I have to, yes. Hi baby, good morning. You're awake. All right, so you have to, these are where you stitched, and this one is where we haven't stitched. So I'm going to go up through. There are better tutorials of this on YouTube. Okay, so I went up through the middle, come up through the top in the middle of this stitch. Then you want to go back down, but you want to go down slightly to the side of that so that you're not going through where you came up. And then you do it again, pull it up, and then put it down. It's very easy to do once you've done the first one. And voila. Get your scissors and you cut it. Super easy. So we've done all of those. That's one thread. That went 80 stitches. So that's good to know. 81 stitches. I normally try to stop when the thread gets that length because I don't want to not give myself enough room. Hang on. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Hay fever, y'all. It's coming. It's coming for me. It's coming early this year. Which is hence the sniffles. I did manage to not get sick this year, which is awesome. Just a side note. Oh, I got a little knot in my thread. Hang on. So irritating. Yeah, so we were talking about huskies. I don't know how I got on that tangent. But yeah, living in Korea is one of the most fun and most difficult things I've ever done. And I'd do it again in a heartbeat. I learned so much about myself and other people while I was there. It's hard to describe in just a few words and on a WIP in chat all of the things that I did learn. But I guarantee you that I'm a much more well-rounded person now that I've had that experience in my life. I think I was pretty selfish before. So I'm glad I did it. We're gonna move. Okay. And I'm gonna move my chair. Can't believe that this is so big that I actually have to physically move myself. So we're gonna start again. I can't wait for this table to arrive. It's gonna be great. Like before, so you have the loop down there. Bring it to the back, see? Now I can feel it with my fingers underneath, but that's not helpful for you. You need to see it, right? So there we are. So loop in place. And then we need another U. I hope this angle is okay because I don't want to be too far out and then you not be able to see what I'm doing. Is that right? That's right. Okay. Whew. All right. Let's have a look where we are now. It's the 2 U's and then we have the 3 1s. I really should be marking these as I'm doing them. So yeah, that was 2012. Now the rest of 2012 was also quite difficult. I got very, very bad news medically, and then I had to tell the guy that was living with me to get out of my house. And he started, it was really strange. Without getting into too much detail, it was an ex, the ex from before, that very swift romance that happened for 4 months, and then he left. He crawled back into my life and said that he would make things better. And then we went out one night, I think it was around, it must have been just before Ice died, actually. Oh no, it was after. It was before Christmas. Yeah. Anyway, and he started bad-mouthing me right in front of me to his friends. And this from a guy who moved back to Korea from the States, freeloaded on me for a month, took advantage of me and my emotional state so that he could have a free house to live in. So yeah, that didn't fly, so I got him out of my apartment. And I felt so used and abused at that stage, and I was dealing with medical issues, and then Ice had just died, and I was like, really? Will the universe not give me a break? And I was so fed up. I was so upset, and my job wasn't going very well either. I remember that they had just gotten a new teacher. She was going to start in the new term in February, but she had started in December, I think, and swooped in and made all these changes to our school, which impacted me and my classes and my ability to teach in those classes. So I was really upset about work as well. And I was just like, is nothing going to go right for me? Oh my God. All I could see was the negative, obviously, because it was like my circle of friends, I didn't trust them after what had happened. They weren't really close friends of mine anyway. I just felt really lonely, you know? And I think the good thing about going through something like that is knowing how strong you can be, because and how powerful friendship really is. You do have to get out there and try to make friends, and that's important to know, because like as a very introverted person, I was expecting other people to introduce me to people to make friends with. Does that make sense? And I was relying on them, and then using my relationship or friendship with them to make other friends. That's not very nice, is it? I just wasn't forward enough, I guess, at the time. I felt very shy. And I'm going to need more coffee here in a second because my voice is cracking. So, sippy sip. So, when all this went down, just after Christmas, one of my Korean friends contacted me and said, you know what we should do? Let's go on this hiking trip. And I was like, oh my God, not a hiking trip in on New Year's. That's the last thing I want to do. And she said, no, you need to get out and do something fun with other people. And I was like, but come on, I don't want to do this. But she twisted my arm. And we went. And it was the location of the Winter Olympics, by the way. Just if you're trying to place it. But she and her friend brought me out and got on the bus, and I was feeling sorry for myself still, and I had my headphones in, and I was being miserable, and I'd reverted back to high school Rachel, which was super loner, you know, just like ignore the world around me and be miserable. Yeah, that was me in high school. When I look back on it now, I laugh because, I don't know, I just feel like patting my head or something, you know, and being like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But at the time, I did feel like the world was crashing around me, you know, very dramatic. But anyway, we got there, we got set up and went exploring, and, you know, it was really, really fun. And we ended up having like a feast where we were making food from different countries. We made Indian and Korean and Western, and all in the same room. So that was fun. And chatting and talking to people and playing games. When we started playing games, I realized that 2 of the people in the room were Irish. And obviously, I'm just like everybody else in America. I'm like, oh, I love your accent, you know, stuff like this. But we really got to talking, and yeah, one of those people was James. So I won't get into too much detail here, but it was New Year's Eve. We were having a bit of a party, and, you know, there's probably 30 of us maybe there, or 20 to 30 of us. I don't remember exactly anymore, memories. But amazing time. Got me out of my shell. I got feeling good and happy again. But it was probably the hardest year that I had. And meeting him did convince me to stay. I wasn't going to stay in Korea anymore. I was going to leave. I'd had enough. Thought I was going to take the midnight train, you know, just get out of town. But yeah, meeting him made me reconsider. We went on a date, and then we went on another date. Actually, one of our very first dates was at this place called Blind. It was one of the blind restaurants where they tell you, you know, take off all your electronic devices, and you need to, what's the word? Yeah, there should be nothing luminescent. You put it all in the locker, and then they make a conga line and file you in pitch black, and then you eat your dinner in the dark together, and it was so fun. And I think it was even more fun because I didn't know what they were talking about. You know, when they come over the loudspeaker and be like, I think they were giving out prizes or something. I don't know. But anyway, we had our picture taken, and oh, it was such a great time. So young. Full of hope. No, I'm just joking. So yeah, that was way back when. And then in 2014, we decided we would move back to Ireland, because we had weathered out those years together. We moved and went through so much stuff together. I knew that I wanted to be with James forever. pretty much from the moment that I met him. You know, I knew that he wasn't a fling kind of guy, and he was worth fighting for. I fought for him a little bit. It was probably petty of me, but I did it because I wanted to make sure that he knew that I was serious, and it was worth it in the end. But I love my hubby. So yeah, that's a little bit of backstory. I would definitely recommend, again, the way we got here was talking about Korean food. Geez, if you have a Korean restaurant nearby, or you know, in the next town, if you ever get a chance, I'd highly recommend that, because kimchi is amazing. Stinky, but amazing. I personally would recommend that. Now, I'm getting very far. It's been an hour now. I'm wondering if I should wrap this up or if I should keep going. I'm going to get some more coffee. We'll keep talking. I hope you don't mind. Okay, we're back. So I had to free up a bunch of space on my phone, which reminds me that I need to go online and get a new SD card. Because I don't have enough space left to make these videos. So let's see, where am I now? 120. So I'm on the 3s here. So I know this has been a very serious WIP and chat, and I'm going to have to put a disclaimer, I think, at the beginning of this video, because not everybody wants to hear about serious stuff. I know I don't mind. Like, I'd like to hear about people's lives and what they've experienced and stuff, but I think that kind of makes you the person that you are today, you know, and well, obviously, but you know, sometimes we wonder, how does somebody end up here? How did you get into diamond painting or beaded cross stitch? How did you wind up in Ireland? You know, I get that question all the time. Basically, it was just, we had to decide where we wanted to go. And being very, I don't want to say flighty, but being travel people, we like traveling, we decided, I decided that I wouldn't mind living in Ireland for a while and see what that's about. So we tested it out, tried the waters. Of course, I joke that we had the best summer we've ever had, the summer that I got here, because we've never had a summer since. It was amazing. It was so warm and sunny and gorgeous. You is next. So we were so lucky. So yeah, I said, yeah, of course I'll stay if it's going to be like this. Oh, little did I know. But that's okay too, you know. The ups come the downs. That's life. But it was just so interesting. Learning about Ireland and Irish history and everything, you know. So I really enjoy it. I do. Sometimes it's frustrating because I have been here for 5 years, the end of this month. So yeah, some things do frustrate me. But overall, I would rather be here than not be here. If things work out, just like any other place. Well, this is the middle. Ooh, we've reached the middle point. The exact middle. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'd love to stay. I'd love to make it work. I'm just adjusting. My dog is going to go barking. Hang on. It's a good opportunity to get a bit of coffee. You'll hear her growling in the background. That's just her being a good dog. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. You know what would be exciting to me, though, is to be able to go and teach again, like in Spain or Italy or, you know, and get that experience in those countries as well. And it's always been a dream of mine to, like, teach in Japan, but I know that won't happen because, well, it's the same story as ever. I just can't catch up. You have to have a master's in teaching and, you know, like 4 years experience and all this. And I just don't think that, well, I have the experience for sure, but I don't have a master's degree. Depending on the way that things go this year will determine what happens in the next few years, so I'll keep you updated. We have a few options. I won't be working in a leisure center forever. Do you know what I mean? I want to get back to teaching. It's what I like to do. Now, I will be teaching this summer, as I always do. And, in fact, I'll be starting that very soon. So the end of May, 1st of June time, first week of June, that's when I'll start all that. And it's going to be awesome. So really looking forward to having some good times with these kids. They come from all over. They come from Europe and Russia. We've had a few from Kazakhstan. I love Kazakhstan. I'd love to go visit someday. Yeah, we've had, the Russians are especially fun. And, you know, with those groups of kids come group leaders, and they're basically, you know, the adults who are responsible for minding the children while they're here, taking care of them and making sure they don't get into too much trouble and mediating between teachers and parents. So it's nice to spend time with them and get to learn things about their countries and food. Always food. We love to eat. But I love the school that I work at, and it's going to be nice to finally get back to the job that I love. Because I have been working in this leisure center since the end of the summer last year, which is when the school finished the last time. Let's see, where am I? 140. Okay, moved on to this page. To keep it all in the frame so you can see. So we need, number 1 here, the circle. So we're changing beads a little bit. I do have another organizer for this on the way because I think it'd be easier if it was all, do you know, if you've watched Grayla Picks, she has these. It's one container with one lid that opens up, and then it has all the holes. It has all the places for the beads. That's what I'm getting. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar. Sorry. Opening each individual lid takes a lot of time, and I always get worried when I'm opening a lot of them that I'm gonna drop or knock over the beads, you know? This one is another color that's really difficult to fit onto my needle, this needle. And of course it's going to try to prove me wrong by sliding on there really nicely. The first one that I get, of course, of course. So that one, go back to this one. Ooh, U-turn. Never done that one before. It's blue. Wow, it's really pretty. I hope you can see that. Wow, that's an amazing color. It's like blue, but the inside is purple. You know what, I'm going to move these up here because I'm going to have a lot of open containers here in a minute. Oh my gosh, that looks so pretty. I like this kit. It came with such beautiful beads. And I'm sorry, again, I'm sorry to the seller. When I did the, I was talking about it in one of my WIP chats and getting really upset because, you know, the seller, it seemed like they were ignoring me or something. I don't know what was going on there. They shipped it so fast, though. Never had anything like it since. Now we have E. Ooh, it's like pink and yellow together. That's really neat. Love these AB beads. That's what I'm calling them anyway. See, like, I wouldn't be able to read that on the, what's printed on the canvas. I just wouldn't be able to understand what they're asking for. How about this one? Oh, just barely. The birds are singing. Another U-turn. So yeah, I suppose my question for you today is, you know, what's something in your life that was difficult to overcome? If you want to talk about it. Or maybe something a little more lighthearted would be, you know, like, what's your favorite foreign food? It's not a food that comes from where you're originally from. And I think what I'm going to do is right now I'm going to tell you all about my 2,000 subscriber giveaway and how to enter. So we just recently hit 1,800 subscribers, which is awesome. So that means we've only 200 more people to join us before I can release the prizes. So what I wanted to do was tell you a little bit about what I got set up. I wanted to do something that was special and meaningful. And I think I mentioned it in the live stream for the DP-a-thon that I contacted Diamond Art Club and asked them if they wouldn't mind making me gift cards, and then they offered me some, which is really, really kind of them. I really like them. And so we have 4 prizes. They're all equal in value. Because I don't want to say that one person is better than the others. Not about that. So we have 4 $25 gift cards to Diamond Art Club, which if you have had problems ordering because of the shipping costs, or if you've put off ordering them because they're expensive for you, then this is the giveaway for you, because I want you to be able to experience that, you know? Now, it's not a requirement that to enter the giveaway you can't have bought Diamond Art Club before. That's not what I'm saying at all. Please enter away. Everyone is welcome. But it's especially for you who have not been able to buy them for one reason or another. So I want to make it special. So I have a tracker, and I'm using this because I want to test it out and see if it'll work. Basically, it has a few options. I'll probably put a screenshot in here somewhere so you can see what I'm talking about. So you have to enter in your email address, and that'll give you 1 point, 1 entry point. But you can also get other entry points as well by heading over to, clicking the link and heading to my Facebook, and clicking the link and heading to Instagram. So each one of those will enter you into the contest. So each point. And then what that will allow me to do is to draw the winners and know their email address immediately. There will be no waiting. And I can contact the winners directly before releasing the video even. I will be making a video, obviously, to congratulate those people, but this way I can find out who the winners are, and there won't be any fraud from it. I thought really long and hard about that. I hope you can tell. I really want to make sure that those people will find out and be able to claim their prize. So that is what I will do. Now I'm going to open this up because I am very concerned about the 15th of April. I know I'm celebrating a bit prematurely probably by opening it up now, but I know we'll get there eventually. So the 15th of April is when Diamond Art Club is going to release their new diamond paintings. If you didn't know already, I mean, we've been talking about it like crazy, but in case you live under a rock. No, I'm just joking. I'm kidding. They're releasing a lot of new diamond paintings, a lot of new artwork. I think they, because they stopped using a manufacturer in China and they have their own printers, they have their own warehouse, they're able to do a lot more in terms of printing and choosing diamond paintings and that kind of thing. So they have loads more to choose from. And that's what a lot of people were saying. You don't have a lot of choice and you're very expensive and all this stuff. So now there's lots of choice, which is great. I love, oops, see, I did the thing that I told you not to do. I went up and down in the same hole. I love to have lots of different options, And I know that in general Americans do too. That's why it takes me 30 minutes to go through a Wawa. If you don't know what a Wawa is a gas station in the South. And they are amazing. They have made to order food. Notice that I talk about food a lot. So yeah, I am releasing the tracker now. So if you would like to check that out, I'm going to put the link down in the description. Just have a look. It'll be hidden in there so that you can see it. And go ahead and enter. Enter into the giveaway. And don't be shy. Just follow the rules, and it's very easy to get your contest points. Now you can only enter once. That's only fair. But yeah, good luck to the winners. I will be drawing once I hit 2,000, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we will hit 2,000 subscribers before the 15th of April. If not, then, that's fine too. We will just keep that contest going. The link will still be there well until I reach it. And once I reach it, cut it off. How about that? So that way, all of the people who have helped me reach that milestone, the people who are already here, and then the new people who come, they're the ones that are benefiting. Okay? I think that's fair. When I look at it that way, I feel like it's fair. I'm not trying to be exclusionary or anything. I want to help my family who's already here and has been here with me and watching my videos. So I hope you understand. So those are the rules. I will be drawing once I hit 2,000, or, if I go over one day and notice when I wake up that I've hit it, then, But anyway, we will get there. Is it this hole? It is. Good. So that's the idea. Just use your email address. That's all you got to do. So let's see, where am I now? 20. So that's an hour and 20 minutes. We'll go for 10 more minutes. How about that? Because I don't think I was going to do the whole row, but I don't know if I can. I think it would take me 2 hours. Where is that color now? So good luck to everybody. There's going to be 4 winners, like I said. 4 people will be chosen. And it is random the way that it's chosen. I don't have any say in it. It's nice to be able to use a gadget, like a piece of technology to do this hard work for you. I don't want to use the random comment generator because I feel like it's obvious to people who come into the video when the video has like hundreds of comments that it's a giveaway. And when I had to think about it and then talk to some people about it, and I think I like it this way better because, like I was saying in my last video, the one where I was kitting up my Nightbringer project, I was just saying that I don't want to fish for subscribers. I'm not here to have a popularity contest or anything. I just want to help those who have helped me get this far. And I'm super happy that we are growing so much, and I just want to give back. I want to give back in my way. So thanks, guys. Thank you very, very much. Now for the rest of this, I was thinking there when I went to get my coffee, which, by the way, coffee break. Ooh, it's still warm. I'm so lucky today. Heike would be really, really proud of me today. I've been thinking about a lot about childhood and growing up and stuff. And I didn't realize until actually when Heike made the video in response to my 90s tag video, that, my childhood, it's kind of the standard American childhood. And it's easy to remember or to forget that, people in other countries had it very, very different. It all depends on where you are. You can't generalize, and I still do that to this day, where I accidentally generalize. But in your childhood, what was a defining moment for you? Do you remember something that happened that stands out for you? It'll always stick with you. So I love talking about childhood and memories, and if it's difficult to talk about, then you don't need to. And I'm sorry if I bring up bad memories or anything. Because I didn't have the most easy of childhoods, and I'm not going to go into it here because I know that I probably have some family members watching or will do in the future, and I don't want to sound like I'm giving out about that or anything. It wasn't easy growing up, and my family did the best for me that they could and came out of a really rough situation, and I'm not trying to lay blame on anybody, you know what I mean? It's all in the past. But I had a few moments that I think really helped me become the person I am, and I remember one of them, and I'll go into detail a little bit, and then I'm going to let you go because I'd like you to answer too. And I also need to go life a little bit, and I think the mailman is going to come soon with my table for this thing. Yay! I'll put a picture in at the end if it does get here and I do manage to get it set up today. But when I was 13 years old, okay, I was a teenager. Let's say teenager, childhood, teenager, same thing. What symbol am I looking for? That one. Sorry, guys. I lost my symbol. That's pi. Hang on a minute. This one. What? 1 second. Oh my gosh. Okay, I found it. There's a very similar other symbol that I just got confused with. Right. It's this nice, soft pink one. This one. It's very milky looking. Right. So, childhood. It's 13. My dad and his partner had moved to Colorado, and he had started a business. Well, I don't think he had the business at that time, but that's what his aim was to go and be a carpenter over there. And he invited me and my grandmother out to visit him. Sorry for bumping you there. And I love these ones too. It's beautiful. Pink, glassy one. Right, he invited us out to visit. And it was my first time on a plane. I remember that. And back then, 9/11 had just happened. So, you know, I've never had an experience in an airport before 9/11, and TSA and all that. So it was kind of eye-opening. All these people making a big fuss and everything, and kind of dramatic and everything, you know. But anyway, I digress. We got there, and wow, just wow. At the time, he lived in Denver in an apartment, and I remember he had very noisy neighbors. But we would go out on these day trips and visit places. Like we went to Red Rocks, and we went to Pikes Peak and a few other places, and oh, it was so much fun. But we went out there, and one day we drove through the mountains, and we ended up in a valley. I don't know what this valley is called, but it had a lot of farms, and it had these, hubby's snoring so I can talk for a little while longer. He had these beautiful horse farms. And when I saw that and how beautiful and picturesque it was, I knew that I wanted to live there one day. Now, obviously, I was young and didn't really know how far away I was from making decisions like that. Do you know what I mean? But that beauty captured me so much at such a young age that it was almost like fate, you know what I mean? Now, obviously, I did not end up in Colorado. I love it. I love the state. It's beautiful. And I would love to live there, but who knows? Life isn't over yet, you know? But that moment shaped me. I feel like the mountains just, it's hard to describe. It just opened up these feelings in me that I hadn't had before about the future and my happiness and, you know, all this kind of stuff that, like, I don't think I was concerned with before. I mean, I was obsessed with boys and that sort of thing, but I went there again later on when I was, I think I must have been 17 the second time I went. And Dad had moved out of the city into a pass, and I'm trying to remember. Oh, Bailey, Colorado was the name of it. Beautiful place. And I believe that we went back to that spot, but I'm having trouble recalling. And at the time, I was seeing someone, and we were supposed to get married, and, you know, young love. Crazy how things change, you know, so quickly as well. To change my pattern. 1 second. I'm gonna scooch this down as well. We might finish this row, guys. So you can see how long it takes me in real time. Well, normally it probably wouldn't take me this long because I'm just chatting and stuff. But yeah, so anyway, I went back to that place, and it's just as special. I mean, the stars at night. Oh, it's so beautiful. So I found a love for nature when I went to Colorado. And I also found my love for traveling and seeing new places and discovering things that are outside of my bubble. I think that if my dad hadn't moved to Colorado and I didn't have to travel all that way, I'm not so sure if I would have realized how different, you know, it is when you travel to another place and, you know, you see pictures and books of other places around the world, and you think, oh, I'd love to go there. Like, I was obsessed with Egypt as a child, and I always thought, oh, I'd love to go there. And obviously, I'm going to leave it off for a little bit. But it doesn't stop me from wanting to go there. But it was that first trip that made me realize that it was possible to do it. Even if you're not like the richest person, you could still go somewhere new and see something different. Now, obviously, I'm very privileged to be able to have had that. Going to deny that I had a very good upbringing, even with all of the stuff that we went through when I was a kid. So I am privileged, and I will not deny it. But I did really enjoy my upbringing, it fueled my desire to travel and meet people from other cultures, and I feel like it helped form the person that I am today, even just a little bit. So that's my question to you. What was something in your childhood that formed you? And if you don't want to write an essay to me, that's fine too. I totally understand. But I love reading your comments, and maybe you can open me up to something that I haven't seen before as well. I need another sip of coffee. Here. Also, I need to ask your opinion on something. So, you know the picture of this cross stitch, I'll put it in the video. I hate editing these videos because they're so long. I have to listen to myself for so long. Oh my God, I hate it. But I hope you enjoy it. You're the one having to suffer through all this. My question was, if I were to get a needle minder for this project, what do you think I should get? I'm thinking about trying to find a hyacinth needle minder. Now, I love purple hyacinth. I love it so much. And I have loads of them around my house. I have bluebells as well, which I also love. And because this is like a garden scene, I thought I'd get a hyacinth. There are purples in it, in this beaded cross stitch, but there's more pink than purple. So a purple hyacinth I think would stand out and look good on it. I suppose I don't really need a needle minder because the fabric is really stiff and there's only one needle being used. But it's kind of like an accessory, and to be honest, this project is not fast. And so it might be nice to have something like a little charm on it, you know. And if you could help me pick one out, that would be awesome. So if you have a link for one, or if you have a favorite store, or if you know where to go, I'd like to look into them. So that was another thing with this. I wonder what time it is now. I feel like I've been here for so long. Oh, the mailman should be here any minute, any second. So I guess I'll wrap this up now because hopefully he'll have packages for me. So I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here, for watching my videos, for commenting, liking, subscribing, supporting me. I really, really appreciate everybody. And I'm glad that I can call you all my family, my little crafty family. And I hope to see you all very, very soon in my next video. I hope you have a wonderful week. If I get this posted today, it's Monday. So it may be Monday or Tuesday when you see this. Or, you know, next April, who knows. But just as a reminder, if you did hear what I said earlier, obviously there's a condition of time on that. So if it's December of 2020 where you are now, that obviously will not apply. I'm so sorry. But anyway, thank you so much for being here with me and listening to my very, very long WIP and chat. And I'm sorry if it was a bit serious, feeling a bit contemplative and introspective today. So thank you for being here. And I will see you all in my next video. Take care, everybody.